Welcome to the Grit and Grind, Daryl. This is my favorite week of all time.
We are here championship week.
State championship week right here on the Grit and Grind. I'm looking forward to it, Daryl. And one thing I got to say about the regional round, it was a great regional round. And another thing we can say, Daryl, is guess what? There will be a new champion, 3A, 2A, 4A, and 1A this season. All defending champs from last season are out of the playoffs. So we will be crowning 4 new champs.
Yeah, and Shawn, and before we can get started with the show, like always, we got to give a shout out to the team, the cheerleaders that brought us in this week.
Who they,
71st Cheerleader Falcons brought us in this week. And I also want to give a shout out to some of the social media down there in Fayetteville for the 71st. Jiffyville _entertainment, 71st Athletics, Seen It, Shoot It, D _Warlock, Wheelock, and Falcon Nation. All those guys are doing a great job with their social media down there for the 71st Falcons, and we just wanted to give them a shout out on the show this week, Shawn.
And we appreciate you guys following the Grit and Grind and having a good time with us down there, Daryl. Well, Daryl, before we talk about this, we know there'll be 4 new champs crowned on Friday night, start with the first game, the other 3 on Saturday. But before we can even get to the state championship games, we got to go back to last week. So let's jump into the Grit and Grind Rewind right here on Studio 67. Daryl, I got to give you that game in 4A. Rolesville, Cardinal Gibbons, back in Cardinal Gibbons, round 2 of this game.
This was round 2, and like you said, and Rolesville came out in this game early and jumped on Cardinal Gibbons. It was like 14-13 in that first quarter, but Cardinal Gibbons did come back.
Right.
And in the second half, they took the lead, and it was 24-1. But after that, in that second half, Rolesville got refocused, got back into the game, and they just outscored Cardinal Gibbons 17-7 in that second half, and they wound up winning 38-31. This was a big-time game for Rolesville, and what Coach Rack, because we talked to him a couple weeks ago.
Right.
And he was focused, and he knew that for Rolesville to get to that next step, they had to beat this team right here.
And he's been talking about Cardinal, wanting to go to Cardinal Gibbons, get another win, and then guess what?
Right.
Getting to that state championship game.
That's it, and they was able to, so now they're going to the state championship. But tell me about the Tarboro game.
Tarboro Wilson Prep, Daryl, it was probably one of the biggest games in 1A Eastern football. First time both these teams met. Due to realignment next year, they may not meet again, not unless it's a non-conference game. But if you're Tarboro, you won 59-6 in your house. And to me, Daryl, this is another Tarboro statement game. They just came to this game and they beat Wilson Prep with all phases of the ball. And they did it, and this ain't a bad Wilson Prep team. This is a great Wilson Prep team.
That's what I was going to say. This was a good Wilson Prep team.
This is the first team in the whole season to hold Wilson Prep to just 6 points. The first team in 3 years to hold Wilson Prep to 6 points. So if you're Tarboro, that's a lot to go into the state championship game about. But we get caught up with talking about Tarboro, that offense. Tarboro team, we talk about it every week.
Right.
It's time for people now to start talking about that Tarboro defense.
They have been playing some great defense.
Warren County game. Pender County game. Now Wilson Prep, Daryl. They are playing some of the best offense and defense down there in Valhalla. And if you're Tarboro, this is the type of statement game you want head to a state championship.
That's it.
Well, Daryl, we got our next game, the Grit and Grind.
Prime time.
Game of the week down in Fayetteville, North Carolina. It was the Falcons of 71st hosting the Jacksonville Cardinals, and we said a bird would win the game.
That's what we said.
And it seems like the Falcons won this game.
And they came out on all cylinders, ready to play, and they set the tone. They set the tone when this game started. And it started with that quarterback play in Nance. He just took over this game for them in that first half, and he was able to keep drives going. And on top of that, you put Frederick in the mix as far as running the ball for them as well. They just took care of business.
And Daryl, when I was watching this game, you felt like Jacksonville came out on that first play. They had a very explosive run. And I said, okay, we get ready to get into something, but then you know what happened next? 71st was able to make that running back fumble. And after that, it was pretty much 71st all the way. And Jacksonville just kept trying to get into the game, but that 71st defense was just able to contain those 2 running backs and that quarterback. June was not able to get going like he's been doing in the past couple games.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about 71st defense. You had Archer, Jackson, Lucas, Hector, those guys that we've talked about all season long, showed up for them and just shut a good Jacksonville team down.
They did, and Coach McLaurin just had 71st for the past couple games of this game, just playing at a high intense level.
Yeah.
And just staying focused and knowing, do your job, do your assignment, play 71st football. You can see right there.
Yeah.
There's another one, 71st football right there.
71st football, and Frederick's making that run. So it was a good game for them.
It was, and we got some interviews. First, we want to hear from the Eastern 3A regional runner-up, Coach Bo out of Jacksonville High School, to hear what he talked about this season and looking forward to next season with his Cardinals. Welcome back to the Grit and Grind High School Podcast right here on Studio 67 NCC. With us tonight, we have Coach Bo from the Jacksonville head coach of Jacksonville High School. Coach Bo, welcome to the show. And just tell me, Jacksonville had a great season, and we hate to see it end like it ended tonight. But just tell me a little bit about this season, what got you guys here.
We had a good playoff run, and then we had some big wins against some good teams along the way. We're able to make plays. We just ran into a red-hot 71st team who's defending Eastern Regional champs, and they're going back to state championship. They did a great job defensively on us, got created some turnovers, and just kind of ran the ball effectively.
Now, Coach, what's going to be your message next year for this team as it comes back? Because we definitely want to see Jacksonville back in this regional round. Now, you lose a lot of seniors, but the program next man up.
Yeah, we got a lot of guys who got to come back and get ready, kind of feel this one out and remember it and feel it hurt. So come back and start in the weight room and get ready.
Yes, sir, Coach. Best of luck. Safe travels. See you tonight back to Jacksonville, Coach. Glad to have you on the Grit and Grind. Daryl, we just heard from Coach Bo down there in Jacksonville, and as he said, they got a lot of kids leaving.
Yeah.
But got a lot of kids coming back. Jacksonville's one of those teams that we probably could see back in this regional finals again.
Because a lot of people did not see them here.
We said on people's song that was Jacksonville.
It was in Jacksonville, but they was able to beat a good half-block team.
To get the 71st.
To get the 71st. So they have a lot to build on for next season. And Jacksonville's going to be right there in the mix.
Well, Daryl, we want to hear next from the Friday night's Grit and Grind players of the game, DeAndre Nance and Donovan Fredericks out of the 71st High School. Welcome back to the Grit and Grind on Wednesday night. We have the Friday night Grit and Grind players of the game. Our grind player, DeAndre Nance, once again on the grind player week. And who do we got?
We got Frank, our grit player with us.
We want to thank both of y'all being tonight's Grit and Grind player. Nance, another tough game, heading back to the state championship. A long season to get to tonight. Just tell me what's going on in your mind right now. How do you feel, sir?
Really glad we got these couple guys on this team. This whole team for us. We've been through a lot. Falling short last year in the state championship, getting an opportunity to go back this year. I feel like we could just take it.
All right, and on defense, y'all just played lights out. As far as what was the game plan coming into this game as far as on the defense side of the ball?
We dominant. We dominant. Outside. We did. No life. Just have fun.
Best of luck to y'all next week in the state championship, and we will be down there with you guys on Saturday state championship. Back to you soon for more of the Grit and Grind. Well, Daryl, we just heard from DeAndre Nance and Donovan Fredericks, the Grit and Grind Friday night players of the game.
Yeah.
And you said the best when we were breaking down the highlights. They just had an outstanding game, both kids that night.
Both kids took care of business. Two key players for them for 71st.
Right.
On the offense side of the ball with Nance, and then Frederick also on defense side.
Right.
Taking care of business against Jacksonville. They did what they had to do, and now they right back in that state championship like they was last year.
And that's what they said from day one. They wanted to get back to that 3A state championship. But we could not leave 71st down without hearing from our good friends. We could not leave without hearing from Coach McLaurin, head coach of the 71st Falcons out of 71st High School in Fayetteville. Let's see what Coach McLaurin had to say about his Falcons getting back to a state championship and winning a second Eastern Regional 3A Conference Championship. Welcome back to the Grit and Grind right here, back live in Studio 67. With tonight we have the winning coach of the regional round right here, Coach McLaurin. Congratulations on another hard win. So first of all, Coach, just tell me, what was the mental preparation you had this week, getting these guys ready for this big game tonight?
Yeah, that option is something to prepare for. Shawn is a terrific running back. Number 7 is very fast. The quarterback's good at it. They do a very good job of running it. But one of the, some of the foundations of the program, alignment, assignment, technique, effort, situational awareness, all of those things are important. Alignment and assignment. And that was key for us, right? Making sure everybody did their responsibility. Whoever needed to take the dive, took the dive. Whoever take the quarterback, whoever take the pitch, just making sure them guys do the same thing over and over and over again. Kind of get them out their comfort zone. And once we got up a couple of scores, I think we kind of had to do some other things, and I'm just kind of built momentum off of that. Offensively, DeAndre Nance, those guys, man, they were on point tonight. The offensive line did a tremendous job, and they really blocked it up well. Jason broke through a couple times, man, and the defense just kept feeding. We just kept tossing the momentum back and forth between the offense and defense, man. We just carried it on out in the day.
Well, Coach, getting ready to head back to the state championship for another season. What's the preparation going next week before we get ready to head out to Raleigh on Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon?
Just want to get healthy, man. A couple bumps and bruises out here, but I mean, you know, victory always helps those helps the little bumps and nicks go away. So hopefully, we'll get ready next week. It's exams too, so you know, kids got to really lock in academically, but just try to have a good week of practice, man, and do something that hasn't been done here in a while.
Well, Coach, we want to thank you for being on the Grit and Grind this week, and we will see you next Saturday at the state championship. Once again, congratulations, Coach, for being the 3A regional champs right here on the Grit and Grind. Back to the studio. Well, congratulations to Coach Malone, 71st High School, for getting his team. It's hard to get back a second time.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. It's hard to get back the second time because just like you said when we opened up, there's a lot of teams that was there last year.
Right, that's not there this year.
So the 71st to get back is a lot.
And as he said this week for the students 71st, they got a lot to focus on. They got practice, they got exams, and you know the exam, what you always say, Darren? Do what? Get that homework done. What?
Get that homework done and get ready to play some football after.
Because Saturday morning you got to play football.
Yeah, you got to play.
Get them projects out of the way, right?
Get everything out the way. Get that homework taken care of.
Well, we're getting ready to jump into a commercial break, and we'll be back right here on the Grit and Grind to find out who was this week in our final Grit and Grind Players of the Week right here on the Grit and Grind.
The Information Technology Cybersecurity concentration at Nash Community College teaches students computer networks, information policy, and how to protect cloud and storage data. Cybersecurity students learn how to build and maintain firewalls and utilize data encryption programs. Students will also have the opportunity to gain real-world experience within their community with work-based learning opportunities. Information technology is a growing field, and once completed, students will have the knowledge and skills to start careers in the field working as cybersecurity analysts, information security analysts, and network system administrators. The cybersecurity concentration can be taken at 100% online for a degree or certificate. For more information about the cybersecurity program, visit nashcc.edu or call 252-443-4011.
Welcome back to the Grit and Grind right here live on Studio 67. It is our state championship week, but it's time to find out who is our final Grit and Grind Players of the Week.
Shawn, this week, Grit player is coming out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. And it's number 9, middle linebacker, Donovan Frederick of the 71st Falcons. He has 118 tackles for the season, and he's that type of leader on the defense side of the ball that you want. He makes plays. He actually goes both ways, offense and defense, and he sets the tone on the defense side of the ball for them, and he has been a big part of 71st making it back to that state championship game. So this week's Grit player is Donovan Fredericks from the 71st Falcons. Shawn, who's that grind player of the week?
The grind player this week, Daryl, is coming out of Rolesville, North Carolina. Here's a young man that watches the show every week, and every week when we say it's time to find out who the grind player of the week is, his name's never been called. Well, for our final grind player of the week, I have to go to the senior quarterback, Braden Atkinson, who threw 4 touchdowns against Cardinal Gibbons defense in Cardinal Gibbons to propel the Rolesville Rams to a state championship. But if you look at Braden's offense all season long, he's had 50 touchdowns on the season, not counting the postseason. He's only thrown 3 interceptions the whole season. And he's thrown for 3,627 yards on the season, not counting the catch. And it's a reason why the Rolesville Rams are in the state championship, because of him being able to lead the offense, to get them up and down the field, and listen to Coach Rat when they're making plays to make sure he's putting the ball in the right place. So congratulations to Braden Atkinson for being our grind player of the week, and for Donovan Fredericks out of 71st for being our grit player of the week and being our final grit and grind players of the week right here on the Grit and Grind Show. You're watching the Grit and Grind on Studio 67. We're going to go to a commercial break, and then we will be back to break down the 4A, 3A, 2A, and 1A state championship games on the Grit and Grind.
Nash Community College offers welding technology as a degree, diploma, or certificate. In this 5-semester program, students learn how to draw and read blueprints, the welding process, and welding safety. Students develop and master their skills in the classroom environments and real-world situations in NCC welding shops. With this degree or certificate, students can work as welders in a variety of fields such as construction, fabrication, and industrial maintenance. Most NCC graduates start out as entry-level technicians or welding apprentices working within the community. For more information on welding at Nash Community College, visit nashcc.edu or call 252-451-8270.
Welcome back to the Grit and Grind. As you can see, 3 teams that are right in our area.
Right here in our area.
Have made it to a state championship.
Teams that we have talked about all season long, and all 3 are in the state championship game.
And right, if you're these coaches, you talk about state championships in that spring OTA, where you want to get. These 3 teams were able to pretty much listen to their coaches and follow that blueprint to get to a state championship. Let's start with our first game on Friday night at 7 p.m. It's not like a state championship, I have a Friday night game.
Yep.
You got to have one.
You got one, and
And so for that first one down on Friday night, like I said, it's not like having a state championship on a Friday night. You got the 14-1 Rolesville Rams playing the 15-1 seed Grimsley Whirlies at Keenan Stadium. And you better believe somewhere in that stadium, Chapel Bill's going to be somewhere watching.
Oh, yeah, you know he is. You know he is.
2 powerhouse 4A schools.
So you're talking about, like you said, Roseville's coming into this game, taking care of business against a team that they played last week as far as in Cardinal Gibbons.
Right.
Went to Cardinal Gibbons, won the game, and it was a big-time win for that Roseville program.
Right.
Because that was what one of the things Coach Rack was talking about when we interviewed him last week, how he was saying not on his watch, taking it to the next level.
That's right.
And they was able to do that. And, again, your players for them started, like you said, the grind player of the week. Braden Atkinson. Taking care of business, 4 touchdowns in that game. And you got Roberts at wide receiver. And defense-wise, some of the same guys we talked about, Turner, Bryant, Lewis, have shown up for them all season long to get Roseville Rams to this state championship. This is going to be a big-time game for them, but they are very prepared. That coaching staff has those guys playing lights out on defense, and they just believe. They're just believing, and Coach Rack's got these guys ready to play. So this is going to be a good game, Shawn. But who they got to play in this championship game?
Coming out of the West, Daryl, you have Grimsley, the Whirlies, who have been on a mission since getting to a state championship game. During this tour, Daryl, let me tell you what they done. They tied up some great wins to get here. Let's go back August 30th in Roseville. They were able to win 35-20. Then if you go at home, they beat Charlotte Catholic 42-14. A home playoff game against Huff, 35-28. And then they had another home playoff game. They had to beat the defending 4A champs, Weddington, 35-23. We saw Weddington last year out of Matthews, North Carolina. They won the state championship. But if you look at this Whirlies team, they are a good team. Many people predicted this game would be the state championship, would be Roseville and Grimsley, so those predictions are right. But the Whirlies are bringing a lot on Friday night, Daryl. That running back, Mitchell Summers, 150 yards a game, 47 touchdowns per the season. Wide receiver Caden Cateau, 63 yards per game, 11 receiving touchdowns. Then on that defense, Daryl, Bryce Davis, the senior. Defense in 8 tackles, 17 sacks on the season. Drew Sears, 8 tackles. Junior linebacker Chris Young, senior outside linebacker. Then that secondary is what really makes them the best right here. You got Josiah Hudson. You got Kasoa Barnes, Ryan Debo, all in the secondary. The one thing I noticed about the Roseville game and the Weddington game is the offensive line for the Grimsley Whirlies.
Yeah.
They block. They stick together like glue.
That's what you want. It's because it starts
like
in the
peanut
trenches.
butter and jelly.
It starts in the trenches, and if you can do that, you got a good team.
The keys to victory for Grimsley to go back and win this game again is to do like you did the first time.
Yeah.
Make Roseville turn the ball over. They were able to do that. Stop that Roseville offensive run game, and you got to rattle Brady Axon up. If you can do that, you may can be hanging up a banner out there at that football stadium. But it's a tough test.
It's a definitely tough test.
Now, Daryl, our next game will be on Saturday morning at 10 a.m. The 15-03 seed 71st Falcons versus the 12-2 West Charlotte Lions at Carter Finley Stadium. 71st coming in as the road team, and I'm going to tell you about the Falcons of 71st.
Okay.
If you're 71st, to get back to a state championship, it didn't start in the spring. It started when the clock ticked 0-0 December 8, 2023 at Keeneland Stadium on that Friday night.
Yeah.
They're back here. They had a remarkable story for their fans in the community to get back to this game. The people that live around 71st wanted to see the Falcons get back to this game. And 71st plays some of the best football on the East. They still remain unbeaten. That win column is still going good, and that loss column is unblemished. No loss yet. But if you look at 71st, Daryl, Richmond, that first game, we said that was going to be a tough challenge right here on the grit and grind. 35-28. Hope County, we said again, another tough challenge, 21-0. And we got special messages after that game. We won't talk about that. Grays Creek, 53-0. Cape Fear, 43-3. Rocky Mount, 56-14 in the playoffs. Rose, 48-7 in the playoffs. Then the regional round, Jacksonville, the team that beat Havelock, 43-7. The team is just loaded on the offense. You saw Frederick get the Grit Player of the Week this week. It's loaded on offense and defense on all sides of the ball. And the one thing about 71st that I'm going to talk about them that I like the best is, you know what they do, Daryl?
What's that?
Not only can they beat you with 11 on the field, but they got that 12th man.
That's it.
That 12th man, that fan base.
It's strong.
It's strong. The cheerleader section. The baddest band in the land, the sounds of the South, the 71st Falcons marching band. All of that's that 12 man that helps this team propel to get wins, because everybody do their part. Whether you the fans in the stand or you the bass drum player hitting the bass drum, everybody's doing their part of this team. The keys to victory for 71st is one thing right here, Daryl. Control the clock.
That's it.
Long drives, and do like you were able to do in this Jacksonville game. Convert on those third downs and keep those chains moving. And we want to give a special thanks once again to all the fans of 71st. We enjoyed hanging out with y'all last weekend to reach the round. But, Daryl, they got a tough challenge. Tell me about these Lions of West Charlotte.
This is a big-time challenge for them because you're playing, like you said, the West Charlotte Lions. They coming in this game 12-2, 5-2 in their conference. Beat a good Hickory team last week.
A good Hickory team.
36-20 in the regional round. And this team, playoff-wise, the teams that they have played and won, I mean, it started with West Rowan. They beat Urin, Dudley, and then Hickory last week. But I'm going to go back, Shawn, about this team.
Go back.
2021. This team went 0-11. 22, 7-6. Last year, that's when they started kind of turning this thing around. They went 9-4. They played a Mallet Creek team last year. Won that game in the last play, fourth down in inches on the goal line. And that defense got to stop. And Coach Griner for this team, when they beat Hickory, he said one thing.
What was that?
That stood with us. Because we say this phrase all the time.
What's that?
To beat a man.
You got to beat the man.
And that's what they did. Beat a good Hickory team last week. He described his team as he's got some dogs on his team. That's what he said. He's got some dogs on his team, and they play with some heart. And that's hard to teach.
That's hard to teach.
You can't teach heart.
You can't teach it.
You can teach offense.
You can teach
defense.
You can teach how to tackle. You can teach how to block.
But you can't teach heart.
I can't teach heart.
And this team has heart. And it starts with their quarterback in Nichols. He's got over 2,600 yards passing for the season. 27 touchdowns. Their running game with Turner, Gray. The wide receiver core with Nichols, Finch, Cotton, Jones. They combined for 2,000 yards receiving. Then that defense starts there. Everything to win a championship starts with a defense.
Defense win championship. And what the offense do? Sell tickets.
That's it. And that's what West Charlotte believes is in defense with Johnson, Griffin Jr., Collins, Watson, Jones, Gray Smith, Arrington. Those guys have just been playing great defense. In 14 games, they've only given up 89 points.
Oh, man.
That's 6 points a game. How you say? If you do your add, subtract,
the great left-hand side is going this way.
6 points a game. This is what this defense is giving up. So if you're West Charlotte, keys to win, play with heart. Continue to play with heart.
You can't teach that.
You can't teach that. Have that passion. Be physical. Set the tone, how you want this game to go. And just have fun. Because just like the coach said, nobody thought we were supposed to be here.
Right.
Nobody thought we were supposed to be here. In 21, we 0-11. And now what? 3 years later, here we
We're in
are in the
state
state championship game. I mean, they playing some good ball right now, and so I got to pick on this, but we got to wait.
We got to wait. Now, Daryl, our next game will be the 1A game at 3 p.m. at Carter Finley Stadium. And the ratings are just going up now. The ratings are going up on the grit and grind right here on Studio 670 NCC. The light buttons are getting smashed as we speak because it's time to talk about a team that made history. 8 consecutive seasons have been to a state championship game.
I got to give it
They
to them.
tie Independence for that record now. And it's a reason why I called them the final boss of the East in 1A football.
Yeah.
Because if you want to get to a state championship, you got to come by Valhalla and beat the final boss. Tarboro coming in this game at 13-1, and they'll be playing Corvian Community Charter School, the Cardinals, who are 15-0 at 3 p.m. at Carter Finley Stadium. Daryl, when you look at Tarboro, it's that time of the season. It's state championship.
This is what they do.
And they're right back here again.
This is what they do.
The past 2 years, I said Tarboro's been a good team. But it feels like this year, because the offense was good, but it feels like this year we can say now that Tarboro went from good to a great team because the past 3 games, we have seen that defense just lock down 3 schools, Warren County, Pender County, and Wilson Preparatory Academy that can put up points. And it starts with Tarboro with the first game of the season against a school right in our backyard, Rocky Mount, that got to the playoffs. Beat them 30-0. Then Hereford County, another school that got to the playoffs, 48-0. North Edgecombe, another school that got to the playoffs, 75-0. Southwest Edgecombe. And I feel like I'm going to be saying this like a broken record all day. Another school that got to the playoffs, 27-14. Then they had that tough loss against Havelock. But we always said that was the measure stick game for Tarboro to see where we at. And they went in that game and they hung up 28 points on Havelock. I thought that was a win, even though they didn't get a win in the W column. That's a win in the chat box column for me. Then you go with that Bertie game, 49-0. Perquimans, 62-22. Martin County, 56-21. Gates County, they pitched a shutout, 60-0. Washington County pitched another shutout, 58-0. Second round of the playoffs, the Weldon Chargers came in a hot Weldon team, beat them 55-6, beat Warren County, the best 1A football, the hottest 1A football team in my books, 71-0. Beat the fastest team on offense, Pender 50-0. And then last week, nobody saw this one coming. Beat the Tigers 59-6.
No.
Everybody thought this would be a very, very close game.
Yeah.
And Tarboro said, not tonight.
No.
It's our night. Tarboro, out of the last 14 games, there are 8 games with scoreless. 2 teams scored 6 points, and 4 teams scored double digits. But it's all about that defense if you're Tarboro. It's about that defense. That defense, the captain, Cole Craddock, Tyler Powell, Brandon Jones, Naquavian Davis, Cole and Naquavian being the grit and grind Friday night players of the game. Then you go on that offense, Cameron McDowell Moore, he's been a grind player of the week. Mason Satterfield, been a grind player of the week. Caden Everett, been a grind player of the week. And a lot of these players played back in 2021, 2022, Daryl, when they beat Mitchell to win the state championship. Tarboro's been there, but they just have not been able to win it since 21, 2022. But the keys to victory for Tarboro is, right now, stick to that Tarboro defense. It's working. Run that Tarboro team to perfection. And Saturday afternoon, if you're Tarboro, when you get off that bus, off that activity bus, because they're not taking the trailway bus, they take the activity bus that game, get off that bus ready to play football. Get your mind on football, Tarboro. And if you can do that, you can give yourself a good chance to win this game. And we want to give a special thanks to all our friends over there in Tarboro, from the Tarboro fan section to the Tarboro friends that we meet on the NC Prep Rivals, and we'll be seeing you at that game. But they got a tough challenge, Daryl.
Yeah, they got the Cardinals coming in this game 15-0. They won their conference 7-0. They beat a Mount Heritage team last week in the regional round 28-19.
Okay.
But before they even did that, they had to beat Mount Aries.
Right.
A team that has been to the state 1A championship for the past 2 seasons.
And won it back-to-back.
And won it back-to-back.
Beat the man, you got to beat the man.
And they was able to do that. And the Cardinals, and just like with Charlotte, 2022, they started playing football. They went 5-4.
They said, we're going to start a football program.
Yeah. And 23, last year they went 6-6, and now here they are in 2024, 15-0. It starts with that quarterback, A.J. Jackson Jr., 1,500 yards passing for the season. Running back with Bess and Johnson have combined for over 1,000 yards rushing.
Okay.
Defense-wise, you got Johnson, Scott, Summer, Kirkwood playing good defense for them. this is a good Cardinals team that has beat a team that Tarboro has not been able to beat for the last 2 seasons in the state championship. So you do not take this team lightly.
Not at all.
You be ready to play because these Cardinals is a good team. Key to win for the Cardinals, I would say start fast on offense. Don't allow Tarboro to get into the long drawn drives. So you want to jump on Tarboro quick. First quarter, you want to at least get it on the scoreboard.
Right.
And then just control the clock. You want to control the clock, keep a pace to where you keep Tarboro offense off the field.
That's the key to beating Tarboro.
And then just keep it close in the fourth. If you can keep it close and give yourself a chance if you're the Cardinals, it's going to be a good game. Got to pick on this, but we got to wait.
Got to wait. Now, Daryl, our final game right here will be in 2A football. It's our nightcap game at the 6:30 slate on Saturday in Keenan Stadium between the Northeast Eagles and the Monroe Redhawks. Northeast Eagles coming in 15-0. Monroe Redhawks coming in 14-0. And Monroe's one of those teams that won it all in 2015, and they're back in the state championship. Let me tell you a little bit about these Redhawks, Daryl, that's going to be sitting in Chapel Hill Stadium. The Redhawks have played outstanding football this year in the West, and they went through the 2A bracket. 2A non-conference games they beat with Rocky River, East Mecklenburg, shut both of those teams out. Then they beat Central Davis week 1 of the season. Then they beat Forest Hill, Park Woods. Anson County, another shutout, 55-0. Piedmont, another shutout, 56-0. A game that a lot of people said would be a close game.
Yeah.
55-7 against West Stanley. Then in the playoff run, 69-0 against T.W. Andrews. Burns, 56-14. West Stokes, 48-21. But here's the one I highlighted, Daryl.
Okay.
A game that they said would be a game because they had to go to Shelby to win this game. And a lot of people had this team going home. They went in Shelby and put up 41 points and held Shelby Lions to 23. Then another game that a lot of people said last week in the regional round they were not going to be able to win. Burford up there in North Carolina. They went in there and hung up 41 points to 15. Coach Johnny Sewell has this team playing good football right now, all sides of the ball. And this team has a good offense. Namir Kendall. They got Kagan Chambers at quarterback. Zion Lindsay at wide receiver. Jordan Young. On the defense, they got Joey Shuren, Yoel DeLon, and Jordan Young in the secondary. They run a 43 defense. I watched them on film today. They get after the ball. The linebackers know when to stay at home. They know when to blitz. On that offense, they spread the ball around. They was running a spread formation, 3 to the right, 1 to the left, and a split spread formation shotgun. They can throw the ball. They can do it all. This is a good team, Daryl, that can put up points. A very good team in the West. One thing we always say about those Western teams is, where's that Western team in the state championship that can throw that ball?
That's it.
Well, this is the team right here. But the keys to victory, Daryl, is number 1. Keep Northeastern off the field. You got to do that.
That's gonna be a big challenge.
Number 2, you got to control that clock. If you can control that clock, you can win this game and play good, solid defense.
All right.
But Daryl, they got a tough test.
I was gonna say
they got the Eagles of Northeastern.
The Eagles of Northeastern coming in this game 15-0, 7-0 in their conference, and they beat a good Whiteville team last week.
A good Whiteville team.
24-14, and in that game, their key players showed up and did what they had to do. But you're talking about this team last year was 14-1 and lost to Clinton in the regional rounds.
And they've been waiting to get back here.
And they've been waiting to get back here. But this Northeastern team has history.
They do.
They have history. In 2018, they made it to the state championship, and also in 2019. And they had players like Aaron Harris, Freshwater, Mercer, those guys. And then on defense, they had like Fredrickson, Dickerson, Lewis, Felton. Those guys played back then in 2018, 2019 for them. So this team is used to being here.
That's right.
This is what they're used to being. Key players for them starts with their quarterback play and in Jones. 3,800 yards passing for the season, 42 touchdowns. You talked about that last week.
He can light it up.
He can light it up. Running back game, you got Simpson, McNeil. Those guys are putting up 1,000 yards rushing for the season so far.
Right.
Wide receiver, you got Sanders, Brooks, Henry, playing good ball. And this is a good Northeastern team.
Right.
Because that Whiteville team, I picked Whiteville last week to win that
game. I
game.
picked Whiteville because I watched them.
Yeah, and
they shut them down.
Shut them down. Shut them down.
They control that run game.
So for Northeastern to win this game, I say start fast. Just start fast. Come out on all cylinders. You got a good quarterback. You got a good wide receiving core that can get the ball down the field. Start fast.
That's it.
And then from that, stay focused, and on defense, just play good defense. I mean, they've been doing that all season long.
That's why they're undefeated.
Undefeated, and this is going to be a good game. I got to pick. I got to pick on this. We'll do that, what?
Quick pick segment.
All right.
Well, you just heard our breakdown of the 4A, 3A, 2A, and 1A games right here coming up at the state championship. And we're going to go to a commercial break. We'll be back on the Grit and Grind for our final quick picks of the season right here on the Grit and Grind. You watch the Grit and Grind on Studio 67.
Welcome back to the Green Grind, Studio 67.
Darryl, they just heard from the Southern Soul Sound Band out of 71st. And who else, Darryl?
And the cheerleaders for 71st bringing us back.
We want to thank both of them for performing the Southern Soul Band. Definitely wanted to be a part of the Grit and Grind this week, so they made sure they put out some good numbers during the halftime show to play for the show this week. Well, Darryl, we're down to 4 picks.
Yep, Final Four.
Final 4. And we'll say this disclaimer before we make our picks.
All right, go ahead.
We are an Eastern Region-based show.
That's it.
Being an Eastern Region-based show, you know where our heart and our lives always will lie to. Not nothing against the West teams, because there are good West teams out there that we follow. But we are Eastern Region-based show, so let's make these picks right here, Darryl, and see how we did last week.
All right.
Last week I went 3-1.
3-1. Ooh. I told you I'm picking with my heart. Ooh. I think that Tarboro pick messed me up. Going with Wilson Prep last week.
Yeah,
that messed me up. And Whiteville, I had Whiteville.
You had Northeastern, and you changed it on the show.
I changed it on the show.
Y'all hear that? He had Northeastern, changed it on the show, but Whiteville was a good team.
Yeah. All right. Let's get
Final
situated.
Four, Darryl.
Here we go. Let's see if I can come back.
Starting on Friday night, Darryl, the 7 o'clock nightcap game on a Friday night. It's not a state championship without a Friday night game.
Yeah.
We enjoyed it last year. Looking forward to it again this year. You have the Grimsley Whirlers, who are the 1 seed, coming in and playing. Both teams are coming in.
Yeah.
Coming into Keene Stadium to host the Rolesville Rams, who are the 5th seed. Both teams coming off good wins.
Good wins.
Who's going to be the one that we think will hold that banner up at the end of this season?
I'm going to say this. I think Rolesville is playing some great football right now at the right time. To go and Cardinal Gibbons and do what they did. And then a week before that, to go to Cleveland and do what they did.
That's the key thing.
I'm going Rolesville on this. It's going to be a close game because these two teams played early in the season, and they know each other, but I'm going Rolesville for the win.
I'm going to go Rolesville on this win because I'm like you, Darryl. I seen the Rolesville game. After that Richmond game, Cleveland and Cardinal Gibbons, I see a team now that is being able to stop the run and pass and hold these teams to low-scoring games. So I'm going Rolesville Rams. Now, our first game on Saturday morning, our 10 a.m. game, will be the 71st Falcons coming in undefeated to play the West Charlotte Lions in Carter Finley Stadium in Raleigh, North Carolina.
I'm going to say this. I think this is going to be the best game of the whole tournament as far as championship weekend. This game right here. Because West Charlotte's coming in this like, to be the man, you got to beat the man.
That's
their
attitude.
and Coach Grind said he got some dogs. And they are playing inspired football.
But they playing a hot 71st team.
They are playing a hot 71st team.
That blew out a Jacksonville team that nobody, I thought this would be, I'm going to be honest, I thought this would be a close game.
Yeah.
They blew out a Jacksonville team.
It's going to be close. 71st going to pull it out. but it's going to be close. It's going to come down to the fourth quarter.
I'm going to go 71st for the win.
Yeah.
I think 71st finished the story, Daryl. When they finish the story, they get the big win at the end of this story because they won it last year and Hickory took it from them. This is their year to finally get it.
But I would not be surprised if West Charlotte comes out with a win on this game.
And I'll say the same thing I said last year about the Hickory 71st game with this game. Whoever has the ball last will win this game. Our next game, Daryl, will be the 3:30 afternoon game at Cardinal Stadium. Tarboro Vikings back for an 8th consecutive state championship.
Yeah.
Host a team that nobody heard of.
Yeah.
The Carnival Community Charter School.
Yeah, 3 years
Cardinal.
playing football.
3 years you're playing football. First charter school ever to get to a state championship game in football. And a team that said they know nothing, when they asked them on Friday night, do you know anything about Tarboro High School? They said, we know nothing about this school. We're new to this.
Yeah.
But we're going to learn about them.
They're going to learn about them. I think it's going to be a good game. It's going to be close in that first quarter.
This is my best game of the week.
This your best game?
Yes, right here.
All right. I'm going Tarboro, though. I'm picking Tarboro. I know the Tarboro fans are like, oh, Lord, not Daryl picking us. Yes, I'm picking Tarboro. I'm picking Tarboro for the win.
It's Tarboro for the win, and what are we going to do, ladies and gentlemen, for the Tarboro Vikings? We're going to hit the button and turn on the light for the Vikings to get another state championship. Tarboro for the win.
All right.
Now, Gerald, our afternoon game, that evening, our nightcap game at 6:30 back at Keenan Stadium will be the two-way game, Northeastern versus Monroe. Tough game.
Very tough game.
Monroe's a good team. I watched them on film today.
Yeah.
They are who we thought they were.
Good team.
Northeastern's a good team.
Like I said, I did not see Northeast. I thought Whiteville last week would be able to pull it off. But Northeastern showed that, we still that team.
And Northeastern coach said something real funny the other night when I was watching the news. He said, being to win Elizabeth City, we're that school that kind of people forget about.
Right.
They think that we're a Virginia school, but we Elizabeth City's in North Carolina. And we're just kind of tucked away up here by ourselves.
Yeah.
Can they go to Keenan Stadium and beat a hot Monroe team?
It's going to be tough, but I think they can. I'm going Northeastern.
I'm going Northeastern also, Daryl. I think Monroe is a good team, but I think Northeastern, that speed they got on offense with them skilled players. The way that offensive line, I don't know what they taught these kids down there, but this is the first school I see offensive linemen running beside wide receivers blocking. I think that's going to be the difference maker. This could be a high-scoring game.
Yeah, it definitely could be a high-scoring game.
I'm taking Northeast for the win. So those are our picks right here, our final picks for the state championship on the Grit and Grind. Daryl, we're going to be at 3 games right here at the state championship. Friday night, we'll be at that Rolesville Grimsley game. Then on Saturday morning, we'll be right back for the 71st West Charlotte game. Then after the press conference, we're going to run right back out for that Tarboro Corvian Community Charter School game, Daryl. And of course, Northeastern, if we could get back to Keenan Stadium, we would, but due to the press conference and traffic, we know it's going to be unfeasible for us to even try to get there. But we'll be there in spirit cheering you guys on.
That's it.
Well, Daryl, for our last time of this season, do you have the grit?
And do you have the grind?
And Daryl, tell the people how they can follow us this week.
You can follow us on Instagram at Grit and Grind Podcast NC. We'll have coaches interviews, player interviews, highlights, anything. What else we have? Some of everything.
Some of everything.
Yeah, some of everything. And how else can they find us, Shawn?
You can also follow us on Studio 67 NCC on Studio 67's Instagram and on Studio 67 NCC's YouTube. As always, hit that subscribe button. Then hit that thumbs up button. The challenge last week was 10. We got 9. We want 10 people to like this video. That's all we need. Just 10 people to hit the thumbs up, and then that will make our day. And also, you can listen to the Grit and Grind. If you can't get the live show, you can get the audio show to do just the same. And if you're driving and stuck in traffic, we encourage you not to watch the live show.
That's right.
We encourage you to watch
that's worldwide.
Worldwide.
Worldwide, anywhere.
We encourage you to listen to us on Spotify and Amazon Music at Studio 67. Well, Daryl, state championship, I'm ready. My bags are packed.
This is. We've been working towards this since what, August?
Since August. And somebody will be crowned a champion this weekend. And as always, Daryl, do you have the grit?
And do you have the grind?
And we'll see you in the new year for the Grit and Grind finale show. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.